Hello.
Hello. Hello there.
Hi, Mary. You're muted, so unmute your mic there.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Is this Cam? Are you the famous guy that owns Contact Talk Radio?
No, I'm an imposter.
How's that? Is that fine?
Yeah.
Good?
There you go.
Great.
Yep.
Yay! The gang's all here.
Okay.
Last show of the decade, Cam.
I know. True, right? You
What?
going to send me what we're playing for the rest of the year?
Oh, right. I had to do that. I had a real eye opener on Saturday, Cam.
Oh, you did? I think I read something about that.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
I feel great. It was just kind of like, they call it a TIA, and it's like a mini stroke, only no damage.
Jeez.
Crazy. No, I feel great. It's all some kind of warning shot across the bow. So I'll go see my doctor today and we'll get it figured out.
Yeah.
How much time we got?
Got a minute.
I'll finish eating my banana.
Get yourself some potassium.
Stand by.
This is ContactTalkRadio.com. Consciousness in action. And you are taking action into your consciousness by tuning into Contact Talk Radio.
And on TuneIn.com, Bing.fm, and UpSnap Mobile.
Contact Talk Radio. Welcome to Life Mastery with Todd Allen, the talk radio show that dives into the science of higher consciousness. Join Todd and his guests weekly at 10 a.m. Pacific Time and learn how to live a peaceful life with intentional mastery. Enjoy a survey of inspiring topics such as abundance, intention, health, manifestation, love, and transformation. It's all right here. Leading authors, speakers, coaches, entrepreneurs with stories and messages to support your well-being, let alone your most evocative dreams.
Hey, it's another groovy day, and that's because it's a quadruple groovy day. And many of you that follow my Facebook might know what I'm talking about, but I am so grateful and everything is all good, and goodness gracious. And when I woke up this morning, I said, I'm going to have another groovy day. Seems like Saturday, I went off on this little micro journey that gave me an experience and awareness, and it's kind of a wake-up call. So check out my Facebook page. There's more details there.
You don't want to give them details? Way to leave everybody hanging.
Oh my goodness. Okay, there's my co-host Jackie. Let's get centered and situated first, and then Jackie will tease a little bit out of me. As always, I like to get myself situated and centered and maybe reach way up high toward the universe and stretch and wiggle those fingers and shake the wrists, maybe roll the shoulders a little bit. And let's take in a deep breath. Let that breath out with just a big gratitude and awareness, and be aware of that connection you have with that which gives you power. Maybe the universe, God, Allah, whatever, Earth. We're going to be talking about Mother Earth today, so you might even want to I connect to that a lot too. It's all part of the same. And this time, let's take in another deep breath and let those dreams, visions, and goals just flow right through you, through your speaker box and out and to the universe, and allow the universe the opportunity to make those come true. Here we go. And just kind of get a conscious connection going. And ta-da! Welcome to Life Mastery Radio. As you heard, my co-host is riding shotgun with me today, Jackie Bailey. And Jackie, look at that big smile, and she's got the Christmas scarf going on. There's her classroom. How's it going, Jackie?
Yeah. It's going good. Yeah. How about you?
Okay, I am so grateful. I was getting ready to kick off a speaking event. I had a presentation. There's a good way to get out of doing a presentation.
Yeah, some people will do anything to get out of that.
I set up this whole event. It was a big training event. 15 minutes before I was getting ready to start, I started seeing double. My lip and tongue got numb, and oh my gosh, I was like, I'm not going to be able to pull this off. I got to go get some air. And on the way to getting some air, I decided, you know what? My experience in EMS told me that this is really not something to mess around with. And I told the guy at the desk, call 911. I need some help. That's what happened.
Wow.
Off to the hospital for 24 hours of observation. And gosh, you go through something like that, and it's an awareness, and it's pretty scary. But I got to tell you, Jackie, I was kind of at peace. I really was.
Yeah.
My blood pressure didn't reflect.
So you knew there was something wrong, but you
Totally.
also had the sense that everything was going to be all right.
I did. It was just, and then they wanted to keep me overnight, and I was like, instantly it was like, oh man, I don't want to hang out here all night. And then I was like, no, you know what? You're in a safe place. If something's going to go wrong at that point, I was still seeing double, I think, until like midnight.
Wow.
Saturday night. And then when I woke up, it was all gone.
Wow.
I know.
So what was their determination, or have they determined anything yet?
More news at 11. There's a
Yeah.
lot of different things. TIAs are kind of mysterious. I was quite shocked at how many people, it's a common thing that people experience, and they're always different. It doesn't mean you're going to have another one.
Yeah.
But it is an indication that, you might want to take a look at some things. So.
Well, I'm glad you're still here, my friend. I learned about it early on and started those positive.
I know. And then I get this text from Jackie that says, well, looks like you're going to have to find another place to get trained, huh? Because
Yep.
I did. I missed the whole training day.
That's right.
I'm like, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
So how's things going with you? You got your school class back there. We've started this, or you've started, or the kids started this speaking club, and it has just taken off. How many people are in that now?
Officially 16.
Wow.
Officially 16. And if we get too many more, we're going to be squeezing in here. I mean, we already kind of are, but it's a good problem to have, right?
Yeah, it's a sponsored, it's something that's sponsored by Toastmasters International, and they help foster it, but it's certainly driven by the kids. And wow, it is so amazing to watch these kids, because you really get a sense that, you could be watching the future president of the United States, or a world leader, or, a congressman, or something along those lines, because they're learning some skills that we necessarily don't get. I know I didn't get them until I was in my late 40s, right?
Right. Yeah, it would be nice if those types of educational opportunities were available in public schools or even private schools. But I think in most cases they're not. So it's time to help the kids.
Well, and let's introduce your nonprofit, right? Because that's what you've started. It's taken off. Oh my gosh, it's happened so fast. I think I'm one of the board of directors, and I'm not sure. We haven't even had a meeting yet.
Yeah, we got to do that. Now the holidays are kind of throwing things off as far as scheduling goes, but it is called the Speak, Feed, Lead Project. And our mission is to help all individuals, children and adults alike, to speak with power, to feed others in word and deed, and to lead with positive influence. And by forming the nonprofit, we hope to reach out and give opportunity to even more people, especially those who are in circumstances economically or culturally, or maybe abusive situations where they wouldn't normally get to have these classes and be able to empower themselves. So
the experience, right? Yeah. And the awareness and everything else. And so this is kind of, you've taken the first step globally. I think in April, you're going to the Caribbean.
We're going to do some summer camps there. And I have a contact now in India. We're going to possibly put some classes together in India. I have emailed the President of the United States. Actually, I was trying to get through to his wife, but she doesn't have a special email that I could find. So I emailed the president and said, "Hey, pass this along to to your wife. Let them know what we're doing, because it does fit into her campaign, which is called Be Best." helping children to be better than they are now and empowering them with certain skills. And so I think it fits right in. I wanted to let them know about it.
Who knows? He might even ask you to be his speech coach. He could use just a little.
I would be happy to do that.
He could use a little bit of.
He could use a little help.
Okay.
Just saying.
Just saying. Just saying. Okay. I think this is the last show for Jackie and I for 2019. Out with the old decade, and oh my gosh, there's so much magic happening.
Got 2020 vision.
Yeah. 2020. And it's kind of fitting too with our guest today because this is the week of the winter solstice, and she has an entire chapter in her book. And I want to remind the listeners that today's show page is at www.lifemasteryradio.net. And any links that we talk about, there's a link there to our guest's webpage. She has a wonderful book that just got published. And without further ado, I'm going to introduce her. Our guest today is Mary McNerney. And Mary earned her law degree from Georgetown University, had a fellowship with the UN Commission on International Trade Law, and then worked for many years as a corporate and international lawyer in Boston and Prague. It was not her plan. Get this? It was not her plan to write this book. She never imagined that the spirit of Earth would one day unmistakably, clearly, and shockingly speak to her. Mary says that the experience has put her on an entirely different trajectory than she ever envisioned as a corporate lawyer. She shares, in a wild and wonderful way, I instead became a messenger on behalf of our planet Earth. Mary now lives in Massachusetts together with her husband and horses, and we caught her. She was out taking care of her horses right before the show. She's there with a big smile, and she enjoys riding her horse through the woods and fields and being more deeply with many dimensions of nature. The name of her book is Earth Speaks Up, Dynamic New Perspective on Earth and Your Role Here. Mary, welcome to the show, my friend. How are you today?
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here with you both. Yeah.
It's a pleasure to have you here, and it's kind of magical. This is the week of the solstice, the end of a decade, the beginning of a new decade. Your book just was released on the streets, I think, in November.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, just came out, and I'm really pleased that it right out of the starting gate, it was a bestseller on Amazon US and Amazon UK. So
Nice.
I was really pleased at the response it's getting from people who are, concerned about it.
I might have to talk to those people over there at Sacred Publishing. They are good friends of mine. They didn't publish my book, but I might have to switch over now. Oh, they're really great people.
They're great people, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I hear great things from our guests, and it's pretty cool. So, Mary, I think right out of the gate, I mean, we have to have a little bit of history, because were you ever spiritually connected, or, I mean, all of a sudden you studied to be a lawyer and the next day it was different?
Well, I guess in a nutshell, that's true. I grew up on a wonderful farm in Ohio, so I always had a connection to nature, and I grew up in a large and open-minded family. So we were all kind of aware that our world is much more than this three-dimensional realm that we see. But I followed the traditional path most of us do, going off to college, and then I went on to law school, and doing the basic career routine. My life and experience wasn't any different than most of the listeners, and so I would say, yeah, I'm just an average person in that regard. But then the way this transpired, and I love sharing the story with you.
Yo, please do. We want to know. Inquiring minds want to know.
So I was, pretty well ensconced in my right brain. Right brain, is that our logic, rational? Pretty well ensconced in that
One of those two.
daily life. Logical, rational, buried in paperwork, with I did, drafting contracts and negotiations and managing business logistics. Pretty well buried in paperwork. And then one day I was home. It was probably a weekend or a holiday, and I was home, and it was a beautiful day out, and I was enjoying my free time and the idea of like, not being bogged down in work. And I remember looking out the window and thinking about, well, what shall I do today? Thinking of grabbing my husband and our dog and going for a walk in the woods, or taking one of the horses out for a ride. And then I just happened to say out loud to no one but myself, because no one else was in the room, I just said, what shall I do today? So I was ruminating on that. And then very profoundly and distinctly, I heard the words, take dictation from the earth. And I knew right away it was the angelic realm. Because there was no one else in the room, and it was just that different vibration, that frequency. And I just stood there for a few moments taking this in. And then I thought, that's a really profound idea, but certainly meant for the more illustrious spiritual people of our time.
I'd be looking around for Alexa. Where's Alexa? Oh, I'm just kidding.
No, I would be too, but I'm not that technologically oriented. But no, it was a really, striking and profound moment. It really was. But then I just assumed that's not meant for me. I'm not that illustrious spiritual type. And
Right.
So I just put the idea in the back of my mind and, pretty well forgot about it until about 6 months later. And I heard the same thing, take dictation from the earth. And the words were so clear and so profound that I decided, well, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'll give it a try. And I took a pen and paper and went outside and sat on the edge of the woods in our backyard and just sat there. I didn't know what to do. And then all of a sudden the words started coming, and it was this stream of dictation coming. It was initially hard for my pen and my hand and my mind to keep up with it. And it was clear. It was so exquisitely clear. It was the voice of our planet Earth communicating with us. And the radiance and the love which flowed through that was just so striking. And what also came in was a group of angelic beings, which was clear they were speaking in support of Earth and humanity, in support of this connection between us and the planet Earth. And they came across to me as very, sort of like a group of very wise professors, very serious, wise professors, speaking in conjunction with Earth together. They'd each give this dictation, and it was quite clear they were dictating a book to me. That's what was right from the start. And I then, to make a long story short, I continued doing this over the ensuing months and years. And what came forth is this book we have now, which is Earth Speaks Up. And this is dictation from our planet Earth and from these angelic beings who are working together with her and with us. And it's uncensored by me or anyone else. And it's just the most eye-opening and loving and mind-expanding information that I think many of us will ever come across.
So how much time, what was the time span, and how much time did you spend with it? Was it on a daily basis, or was it on a weekly, or just whenever you were connected?
It wasn't on a regular schedule. It's more when I would take the time to go out and spend and kind of shift into this zone, allow myself to shift into this frequency. It's sort of like, it's like sort of when we're used to working in our daily three-dimensional world. And when we
Right.
start connecting, working with the world beyond our material self, the angelic realm, the multidimensional world we really live in essence, we're working at a different frequency. We're changing the channel in a way.
Right.
And so when I would stop and take the time to go and sit and do this and change the channel, allow myself to work at that different frequency, then the next chapter of the book would come. So it was really when I would choose to take the time and allow it to come. And this continued over for a while. And I love sharing this story, though, with people, because I think it's important to realize, as I said at the outset, I was no illustrious spiritual type or no nature guru. And it's an innate capability we all have.
Right.
We don't require special training or special skill. We all have this ability. In a way, we've just gotten distracted by our material world and separated from this skill because we're so busy working with our logical, rational minds that this ability to work with our intuitive or our, I don't know another word for it, our other frequencies, our ability to work at other frequencies has kind of been subsumed and in a way taught out of us by our educational system too.
Right.
So, yeah, and it's suppressed, but it's there. It just needs to be reawakened. And that's why this is brought to us, I think, to show us. This book, in a way, gives us the wisdom, guidance, and tools to be able to begin to reawaken our ability and shift into working with Earth and all of nature more expansively.
So what does the earth tell us? What I'm assuming it's a she.
Mm-hmm.
Mother Earth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what does she and these angelic, I don't know what to call them, hosts or?
I call them angelic beings. They just they identified themselves to me just as we. They would speak we. So they didn't have individual names. It was this collective, a group of very, very wise spiritual beings that just identified themselves as we. So I call them the angelic beings or angelic realm.
So you hear both the earth and you hear these angelic beings.
Yes.
And are they telling you the same things or do they each have different messages to share?
They each have different messages. It's like they'll speak in support of each other. It's sort of like you and I carrying on this conversation in a way, or all of us carrying on this conversation. It's like the earth will be speaking and share some information she wants known by humanity. And then we, the angelic realm, will come in after she's spoken and share their perspective or share another way of looking at what she said to kind of support the conversation. So that each, in a way, I was engaged with a group in a conversation with a group, the earth, and then the angelic realm. They're both speaking in support of each other, in support of teaching humanity, teaching us. They came in as our teachers. So it was a wonderful exchange, and I just want to reiterate that it's an exchange not limited to Mary McNerney.
Right. Well, I mean, each chapter you talk about what that message was and what that download was, and then there's an exercise. Were these exercises, did they come to you in the same way, or?
Yes, everything in the book was dictated to me. They would give a lesson or a discussion of how to perceive and understand the earth in a new way. And then periodically throughout the book, they give us, it is a series of 9 exercises, very simple exercises for teaching us how to begin interacting and working together with earth in this new way. And what they're teaching us, like the first exercise in the beginning of the book is teaching us how to bring our alignment and our attunement into conjunction with earth. It's very simple exercises to begin listening to earth and to begin bringing our awareness to earth, bring our awareness beyond our 3D realm, but in connecting into the conscious, sentient, and communicating being, which Earth really is. And so they give us exercises in how to connect and attune to her. And then throughout the book, there's exercises on how to begin working with her co-creatively on the energetic level to help bring the planet back into balance. Because what we as humanity has done, as many of us know, it's become difficult for the Earth to take care of herself and her own well-being alone.
Right.
Because of the imbalances humanity has created, she needs our help to step up. And the book gives us simple exercises in how to step up and work on the energetic level with her. So, and I want to just read, before we go on, I want to just read one simple excerpt from this book.
Go for it. Yeah, that's cool.
Because these exercises, when they were first dictated to me, I thought, I've got to be getting something wrong. These are so simple. It's like, you know, a little 5-minute little things. And how can this make such a difference? But it was explained to me, when you're working on the energetic level, this is where you create change. And working on the energetic level is far simpler than trying to create change on the physical realm. You start on the energetic, and that's where all change and creation springs forth. So this is a 2-sentence excerpt which I love to share. It's in chapter 9 of the book. When I was puzzling over how simple these exercises were, did I get this right? And the angelic realm came in response to my doubting thoughts, and said, yes, simple exercises, simple experiences are often the best and more profound. The way your social realms have evolved recently, you seem to believe that complexity is necessary. We would urge you to revise that thinking, for such a belief is erroneous. And and so they're showing us a whole other way to approach these issues that concern us, with climate change, or with the well-being of the planet, or with issues in our own backyard. They bring us a whole new way to approach it. And this is bringing us into a new togetherness with Earth, and enabling a whole dynamic new relationship to come about between us individually, you and me individually, with our planet, and the whole humanity with our planet.
You know, Mary, I'm fascinated because you're bringing an awareness that many ancient cultures already were aware of, and were very much in tune with. And then this whole expanse of culture and mechanism and the Industrial Revolution, all of that separated us from that. And I always go back to something that I heard, that indigenous people always believed that when things would change when man came to understand what the ancients knew. And I think we're coming to that point. And it's interesting that you get this download, and you describe it as a download, and you don't really clue us in that you had any experience. It's just like you were chosen. Here, lady, write this down. And I've heard that many times before. I've interviewed quite a few people, and this isn't the first case. And even with what's that book? That woman, she was a lawyer too, and it was downloaded to her. I'll think of it.
Are you thinking of Course in Miracles?
Exactly.
Yeah, she was a doctor. She was a doctor.
Yeah.
She was and I read her book since then. I read her story about it. She had basically the same experience I did.
It's exactly what I was thinking when you described it.
Yeah.
So has the Earth told you why she picked you to be the spokesperson for her at this particular time, or in this particular way?
Well, as this was going on, and at one point I asked, okay, so why me? And I was told by the angelic realm they simply said, because you can, and because you are willing. And they didn't say because you have some special gift or you're someone special. No. And I realized we all can, but for some reason I just opened myself up and allowed it to come. And
Right.
this is something that can transpire with all of us once we're aware that, oh yeah, this is the way it works. And as you were talking, Todd, about Helen Schuchman was the one that transcribed Course in Miracles.
Exactly.
But she transcribed this, but she stayed in the background and she never came forward. You never knew who she was or really how it came
It was
about.
a very long time. Nobody knew
Yeah.
where this book came from.
Nobody knew it, and no one. She stayed in the background. And as this came forth for me, I realized I am not supposed to stay in the background. I'm supposed to come up and say, look, this is who I am. I'm just like you. No special gift, nothing special. This is the way it is for all of us. And not to keep it hidden or shy away from it. That this is what we're all being called to step forward and do.
Fascinating.
We all are. This is like right now, I feel we're really at the nexus of change in our connection with Earth. And once we each individually step up into this way of being with the planet, everything else changes. Everything else. All our worries and concerns about the well-being of the planet and ourselves, it all changes.
I was just going to ask you how you've changed. How has this experience
That's good.
changed you? Has it given you a different perspective? And if so, how?
Yeah, it has given me a different perspective. I have left the corporate legal world.
Bye-bye.
I mean, it wasn't a snap decision. It's sort of like the more time I spent working in this other dimension, in our multidimensional world that we really are in, the more I realized working in this limited career, limited legal, logical, rational realm, it just wasn't all there was to life. And it just so happened out that the company I was working for was bought out by a company in Finland, and things kind of, my time wasn't called for as much in that way, and it became more called for in working with this other dimension. So it's sort of like things coalesced. And so I really shifted into working more dynamically with Earth and nature in this way. And it's harder and harder for me to be in the, I couldn't do a 9-to-5 job anymore. It's not where my priorities are, my focus is. But that's not to say that others who engage in this book or read this book and do these exercises, you don't need to leave your career or change your life. By no means at all. This book gives us simple and intriguing wisdom, guidance, and tools, these exercise tools that we can integrate into our life in a daily way. Sort of like you brush your teeth morning and night. These little meditations and exercises are things you can integrate into your life as easily as you do your morning and evening routine. And you don't need to go out in nature to do these exercises. You can do them from your office or your home or your apartment building.
I want to take a minute and let our listeners know, if you've just tuned in or tuned in a little bit late, you are tuned into Life Mastery Radio with Todd. I'm Todd, and that's Jackie. And our guest today is Mary, and Mary could hold up her book. We're talking about her book today. It's called Earth Speaks Up, a dynamic new perspective on Earth and your role here. Now, I always surf around. I spend all morning researching our guests, scanning through their book or reading their book. And I found this comment, and I thought it would be cool to share it with you. I couldn't put this book down. It is profound, enlightening, challenging. It changed my life. Every day now, I remember what Earth says. You and I, meaning us as humans, are one consciousness traveling together. The exercises are easy and fruitful. Such patience Earth has with us. And that's for sure. I love that. Such patience Earth has had with us. Mm-hmm. We can help both Earth and ourselves. This book by Mary McNerney tells us how. I am so grateful. And that was an anonymous person on Amazon. Mary, you hear things like that, and doesn't that just warm your heart? I'm sure you're getting lots of emails and comments. Does one really stand out for you?
That one really does warm my heart, and there's so many that have, kind of hearing these comments, nurtures me and warms my heart. But it also makes me feel like, okay, there are people recognizing and shifting into this pathway that Earth and the angelic realm are setting forth for us, and it's resonating beyond me, and that's what makes the difference for me. Anytime I read a comment like that or I get an email like that, it's like, okay, the message is moving. Earth's message is moving, and that's so exciting.
I know. I can just imagine that, in producing something like this, there would be that self-doubt and that negative self-talk is like, people are going to think all kinds of things. But do you step through that, Mary? Do you just, that's got to happen. I mean, maybe it doesn't. Maybe you are so attuned to this that it doesn't come up.
Well, I mean, I guess there's going to be plenty of people that think this cannot be true. This is not real. And that's okay. That's where they are. That's where they are. That's all right. It's not my job to convert them. But there's plenty of other people who this resonates with.
Yeah.
And I feel so secure in the information that has come through. I know it is our new reality. I know it's our truth. So I don't have a self-doubt. And when you connect and attune to Earth and when in these ways, others will know. They'll start to feel the same thing. Oh, this is the new reality. This is where it is. And you don't necessarily have to get words like I have. Other people feel, they might feel the Earth's vibration or pulse or sense an emotion or whatever. But once you start doing these simple exercises with Earth, you realize, this is really the new reality. This is the truth. So it doesn't matter what others might think or not.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
So generally speaking then, is the Earth happy? Is the Earth sad? Is the Earth alarmed? What does she have to, what does she think about what we're doing?
Well, it was so interesting because you kind of think, given the issues with climate change and all what humanity has done to the planet, the environmental degradation, all that, you'd think the Earth would be kind of pissed off at us or something like that. I mean, that's what you would expect.
Yeah.
But it was amazing, Jackie. Every time I was connected with the Earth, and I think people will find this as they read the book, there's this amazing vibration of love which comes through. And that's the whole experience I felt from Earth, is the emotion was love. This depth of love for humanity and everything she has created on her surface and within her, that there wasn't like this judgment against humanity. There was this profound caring and also a feeling of really needing and wanting humanity to turn to her and see who she really is and engage with her in this new way. This really, and I feel it now as I'm talking to you, I feel like this heart-to-heart call from Earth to you and me and each one of us individually to, like, it was sort of like, see me who I really am. That's our planet. That's the sense I see who I really am. See the profound depth of who I am as a conscious, spiritual, communicating being, and engage with me. And here I, Earth, am giving you the guidance to engage with me in a new way. And when you do this with me, everything else, our whole togetherness changes and will be so much more wonderful than what we have now. And that's what I feel, that's the feeling I feel coming from the Earth as she brings this book to us, you know.
Very, very cool and very fitting for the time. I think our society is in this huge wake-up call, and it's amazing. It's not amazing that this book comes through you at this time, because I think a lot of people are looking for answers. And it's like you said, if I plant some seeds with this book and people get it or they don't get it, that's fine. Here is what I know, and here's what has been presented to me.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a favorite section? Let's see. I'm trying to remember. I read a section and it said something to the effect that I'm not causing the weather. You guys are creating this weather.
Yeah.
And this is more of an awareness for you to, maybe change some things. Did I get that right?
Yeah, and Todd, that section was dictated, I think it's chapter 3 or 4, was dictated to me. I was like, wow, this was news to me. I mean, all of the book was news to me. It really changes our perspective on everything around us. But that section, the earth conveyed that these extreme weather patterns that are created, like hurricanes, tornadoes, these extreme storms, are really her only way of cleaning up the energetic and emotional toxins in her field. And this is the battle energy that humans spew, the negative emotions and toxins that humans spew. We think, oh, we have a war, or we have on our planet, or we have a fight with our neighbor. It's all done and gone. But that emotional residue, that vibrational residue, is held in the Earth's atmospheric field. Her atmospheric field is akin to, we all know we have our energetic field around our body. The Earth has her energetic field, which is her atmospheric field. And when we as humans spew our negative toxins, emotional and physical, I think too, the only way Earth has to clear her field is to spin it in a hurricane or tornado and release it that way.
Stir it up.
Yeah, yeah. But what she shows us in this book is if we as humanity step up, she gives us some simple exercises. If we step up and do these simple exercises with her, working on the energetic level, we can reduce or eliminate the need for Earth to create these hurricanes and these storms, because we as humanity will take responsibility for cleaning up our own detritus. And it doesn't take much when you're working on the energetic level.
Yeah, so I was going to say, maybe it's not a coincidence then that we seem to have more natural disasters happening lately. I don't know if it's true or not, but lots of scientists would say that they seem to have increased in number and magnitude. But maybe it's not a coincidence, because we seem to be more angry as humankind lately too. There's a lot of back and forth. There's a lot
divisiveness.
of divisiveness, and maybe we are the cause then of these magnified storms. Do you think?
I think that's the point, isn't it, Mary?
Yeah, I think that's the point, that we are cause. And also remember, there's a lot more people around the world than there were even 100 years ago. And so there's a lot more. Humans tend to have a lot of fight energy. We might channel it into a war, which we do, but we also channel it into our just our aggression toward anything that pisses us off. And when you have billions and billions of people doing that builds up a lot of negative energy around the planet. So yeah, I think, as you said, Jackie, it's my guess too, and I qualify this because I don't know everything. It's a lot of this is new to me too. It's all been new to me. I'm just maybe a step ahead of people because I've been working with it a little longer now. But I think these things, maybe these big storms that come up and these hurricanes and these, as you were saying, Jackie, more and more frequently and more powerful, in a way it's maybe like a billboard saying, hey people, look what's going on.
Here's your sign.
Right.
Yeah.
Mother Earth is cleaning house, and whether you like it or not.
Right. And that's all she can do unless we step up, before the hurricane is generated, we start doing these very simple exercises, a few minutes a day here and there. The more of us start doing this and start attuning and engaging with her in this way, working together co-creatively, hey, she's got a partner. She doesn't do it all herself, and we're her partners.
Cool.
That is so. Is there another chapter that jumps out at you, Mary? Is it? Of course, this is the week of the solstice, and I think you had a whole chapter on the winter solstice, or was that the solstices in general? What did Earth have to say to us?
Well, I'm glad you brought that one up, Todd, because since it is solstice time, Earth did have a chapter, a couple of things she dictated about the solstice. And it also ties back to your point, how some of the ancient cultures were more aware of these things, because we know in ancient cultures paid attention.
These were events that changed their lives. This is what their lives were about, is this event that occurred twice a year.
Right. And they kind of revolved around the solstices. They knew it was an important time, and we in our modern age have forgotten.
Totally. Well,
yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah, for the most part. But what Earth explained to me, what happens at the solstice time, and it's not just that day of solstice, but it's a couple days, like maybe 3 days preceding and 3 days after, and then the peak is at the day of solstice. There's an opening and expansion of Earth's energetic field in conjunction with the moon and in conjunction with the whole cosmic energy. And so there's a much stronger, more vibrant energetic flow coming to the Earth and flowing from the Earth. And when we attune to her and work together with her co-creatively during the solstice time, what we do with her and together for her has an expansive effect. And it's magnified. And so when we're each one of us spending a few minutes doing these exercises at solstice time, the effect is magnified. And the beneficial effect of any time we do this is not just on Earth, it's for ourselves too, because our energy, our physical being, our welfare is not separate from hers. We perceive ourselves as separate, but we're really all so intimately tied together. It's just a misperception that my health and well-being is separate from the planet's.
And separate from you and me. Right?
Exactly. When we do work together on this vibrational level with Earth, it benefits each one of us, our health, our well-being, our whole life. So
true.
Especially when we do it at solstice, it has and the interesting thing I'll add in conjunction with that is what was explained to me. We think these exercises are simple. What's the difference? Just me doing them. It's not going to make that big a difference, but it does. What was explained to me, when you work on the energetic level in doing these exercises as they've set forth in the book for us, when you work on the energetic level, it has a ripple effect. So it doesn't matter that it's just me, just you doing it, us little individuals. It goes out into the energetic field and ripples out beyond us. So it has a more powerful effect than what we realize.
So do these exercises have to be done in a particular order? Or can you just try one more than another? Or how do those work, Mary?
Oh, yeah, just as you can do that, whatever suits you. There's 9 different exercises they've given us. They're just the starting points. And some may speak to one person more, others may speak. You can do what you like. See what works for you. See what you like doing. Try them all. Just stick with one. You can. So it's really, it's not a Bible. Do it this way. It's like, here's some information. Try this out. Here's some guidance. See what works for you. And I think it invites us to move beyond what they've given us here. They've given us a starting point, but we'll each have our own experiences. And the more we attune to Earth, we'll each get our own guidance or feel our own sense of what we want to do, or new ideas, new exercises, new information will come to each one of us. So this is just the starting point, but we'll each be able to move beyond this and expand it and experiment with it, play around with it, see what we like working with, and allow ourselves to be guided even beyond what they've given us.
It's like an awakening, really, in a way, Mary, and an awareness. And then I have to imagine that because of this book, you are creating, or I don't even want to say creating, you're just coalescing this whole community of people that now are thinking that same way.
Yeah, it's been really fun, Todd, to see, and kind of nourishes me to see the way people are responding in this. And so many people saying, oh, yeah, I get it. Because it's all new stuff. It's all new experience, but it makes sense to people. People realize, oh, yeah, they resonate with it.
Right.
So,
This sounds like a movement, Mary. It sounds like you need to capitalize on this a little bit and help people to work on that message that Mother Earth has and how they can share that message on a more global way. Maybe there's a movement inside of you. And I was going to ask if Mother Earth continues to talk with you. Does she have more to say? Is there another book coming out with more dictation?
There's plenty more she has to say. It's endless. And I've kind of because I'm a human, I've had to work in stages. Okay, this book, and getting this book together was one thing, and finding the right publisher who would, because a lot of publishers don't want to work with dictated material. They don't believe in that, but they're really.
We're going to give a big shout out to Sacred
Stories, Sacred Stories Publishing,
because they are awesome.
Yeah. I submitted this book to Sacred Stories Publishing, and right away she's like, "Yep, this has to move into the world." So it's sort of been. I did the dictation, then I had to step back into helping this book move into the world. And also engaging and sharing it with people like you, which is a great opportunity, to be able to share it with more and more people. So this is what I'm doing now. And then I know there's more information to come forth, at least in the very last chapter of the book. They tell us point blank, there's a lot more information to come forth in helping humanity see all of nature, all of our whole world differently.
So just to go back to Jackie's question, Mary, it almost seems to me like you are just willing and accepting to be the messenger. And so there really is no vision that you have of where this is going. You're just following the lead.
I guess so, Todd, because it's all new to me, bringing this out into the world. I mean, this is all new to me. Taking the dictation was new to me. I did that for several years. I became very comfortable with it, became very comfortable working with Earth in that way. But now this is all new to me. Sharing this with people, this is all a new experience, bringing it into the world. So I'm not setting up my own plan or own agenda. I just feeling, and the sense I've got is pay attention to who crosses your path, because things will coalesce, things will be brought forth to help this book move into the world, because it's not just Mary McNerney moving this book out. There's a whole angelic realm in the earth behind us sharing this, and then people like you and Jackie,
So if you ever find yourself in Seattle, we want to be a part of whatever it is you're bringing, because it's pretty cool.
Great.
Come to Seattle. We would love to have you. We would love to visit with you, and
I would love to be there. So it's just great
here,
to be able to connect with you too.
If you go on a book tour, then just Google East West Books.
Okay.
They have a great venue and a great following for people with your thoughts on it. So if you take the book on tour, end up in Seattle, East West Books.
Okay, that's good to know. And I think this is the way it's going to work. Paying attention to people cross my path, opportunities who are cross my path to share this. Yeah. So I'm just being open to that, and I love that idea.
Goodness, ladies, we only have about 4 minutes left. I want to thank Mary. Mary, thank you so much for bringing your book. You could hold your book up again.
All right. And I'll tell people it's available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, or from Sacred Stories Publishing, or your local bookstore can order it for you if you like to support your local bookstore. But I just think it's just a gift from Earth to you, to all of us. So,
Nice.
Nice.
Very
Thank
nice.
you.
Thank you so much. Is there one last parting shot that you would have that you would like to reflect onto our listeners today and the listeners that will tune in the
you
future?
know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to read you one quote from Earth, okay? This is the introduction to chapter 1 in her book, just this one sentence, and I'm quoting Earth. It is time for humanity to awaken to the togetherness of what you and I truly are. We are one consciousness traveling together. And that's Earth speaking to us.
Oh my goodness. Namaste, my friend. And thank you so much for spending time with us today on Life Mastery Radio. I think this is a great way to end the decade and start a new one.
All right. Well,
And
thank you both, Todd and Jackie. I love
Thank
it.
you, Mary, for being that conduit to help us to gain more understanding here.
Totally. I hope you enjoyed today's show. Jackie and I have a really big couple of shows all next year set up. We're working on them and we're going to bring them to you. I think we're just going to take a little break for a while and enjoy the holidays, and the new year will start off and we'll have a great show for you. So stay tuned. Any last minute message, Jackie?
Hey, Earth speaks too. You know, that's what I'm trying to do with my nonprofit is help everybody speak with power. And here, Mary's telling us that Earth is speaking to us. She has an important message for us to hear.
There you
And
go.
We all have important messages as well, and we all need to listen to each other.
Very cool.
That's my message.
You heard it here from Coach Jackie. Earth speaks. That's about all we have time for today. I hope you enjoyed the show. I enjoy bringing it to you every week. I know Jackie does, and I know Mary had a blast bringing you the love from our gracious planet. So check out her book. Go to her website. Go to lifemasteryradio.net. Lastly, please make it a great day and the rest of your year, because it is all about choice, and choose to feel groovy too. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you for tuning in to Life Mastery with Todd Allen,
Mary.
the talk